Can you believe that one of the most talked about Duggar weddings ever almost skipped the most traditional moment of all? When Jessa Duggar and Ben Seewald said "I do," they left more than 1,000 guests waiting for something that never happened right there in the church. Their story of courtship, a whirlwind engagement, and a wedding that mixed deep faith with a few unexpected choices still draws people in years later. Today we're going back to that special day to unpack how it all came together, what made it different, and why fans continue to look back on it with so much interest. Stick around, because the details of their vows, the private first kiss, and the way the whole family celebrated paint a picture that feels both familiar and completely unique. The Duggar family first stepped into the public eye through their TLC series 19 Kids and Counting. Jim, Bob and Michelle Duggar raised their large family under a strict set of conservative Christian values that shaped everything from daily routines to dating rules. Viewers watched the older children grow up on camera, and weddings became major events that drew huge audiences. By 2014, the family had already seen Jill marry Derek Dillard earlier that same year. Jessa, the next daughter in line, had begun a carefully supervised courtship with Ben Seewald. Ben was not from the inner circle of the family's usual social world, which made some relatives cautious at first. Still, the two shared a strong faith and similar views on marriage. After nearly a year of getting to know each other under the family's guidelines, Ben proposed in August. The engagement lasted only about 3 months, and the wedding was set for November 1st at First Baptist Church in Bentonville, Arkansas. That short timeline forced the family to plan quickly for a guest list that swelled past 1,000 people. The ceremony would air as a special episode, so cameras captured nearly every step. What followed became one of the most memorable Duggar wedding stories for reasons that went beyond the size of the crowd. The day itself unfolded with a mix of tradition and personal choices that stood out even among the family's other celebrations. Guests filled the church while classic hymns played and family members took their seats. Jim Bob walked Jessa down the aisle and lifted her veil before giving her away. Ben waited at the front, and the couple exchanged vows they had written themselves. Ben told Jessa she was the love of his life and his best friend, promising to stay open, honest, and supportive through every adventure ahead. Jessa responded with equal warmth, committing her life to him in front of the large congregation. The pastor, Mike Schatt, led them through the rest of the ceremony, which included a sand-pouring ritual that symbolized their new unity. Everything seemed to follow a familiar path until the final moments. Instead of sharing their first kiss in front of the guests, the newlyweds left the sanctuary together for a private moment. Pastor Schatt explained to the crowd that the couple had decided their very first kiss should happen alone. He even invited Jim, Bob and Michelle to share a kiss on stage so the audience would not go home without seeing one. Guests later learned that Jessa and Ben had indeed shared that first kiss privately before rejoining the reception. The reception carried the same thoughtful, slightly unconventional spirit. Rather than a traditional wedding cake, the couple served ice cream sundaes loaded with brownies, caramel, candy, and cookies. Jessa had simply said she did not really like cake, so the dessert table reflected her preference. The atmosphere remained joyful and family-focused. Siblings, parents, and extended relatives celebrated the newest marriage while cameras rolled for the television special. Ben and Jessa had kept their physical relationship pure. According to their beliefs, so the private first kiss held real meaning for them. They later described it as nice, slow, and romantic, and they admitted they planned to enjoy plenty more kissing in the years ahead. The entire day wrapped up with the couple heading off on a honeymoon at an undisclosed location, ready to begin married life away from the constant presence of siblings yet still close enough to visit regularly. In the years that followed, the wedding footage and the stories surrounding that day continued to circulate. Fans who had watched the courtship on television felt invested in the outcome. The short engagement, the massive guest list, the decision to keep the first kiss private, and the ice cream reception all became talking points that set this wedding apart from the ones that came before and after it. Jessa and Ben settled into life together, eventually welcoming 6 children while maintaining a lower public profile than some of their relatives. Their anniversary celebrations in later years often returned to simple, sweet moments that echoed the same preference for meaning over flash that marked their wedding day. Public reaction at the time mixed admiration with curiosity. Many longtime viewers praised the couple for staying true to their values and for making personal choices even under the pressure of television cameras and a huge audience. Others found the private kiss decision surprising and debated whether it added romance or simply delayed a public tradition. Media coverage focused heavily on the details that felt unexpected: the lack of a cake, the sand ceremony, and the explanation given by the pastor. Social media conversations reflected a range of opinions. Some fans called the wedding beautiful and sacred. Others joked about the ice cream sundae station or expressed mild disappointment at missing the classic altar kiss. Overall, the tone stayed largely respectful, with most commentary recognizing that the day reflected the couple's own priorities rather than any attempt to create drama. Years later, anniversary posts and anniversary vlogs still draw warm comments from people who remember the original broadcast. Looking ahead, Jessa and Ben have continued to share selective updates about their growing family and everyday life through YouTube and social media. Their focus remains on raising their children and living out the commitments they made on that November day. No major public events tied directly to the wedding anniversary have been announced beyond the private celebrations the couple chooses to share. Viewers who follow their channel can expect the same mix of family moments and faith-centered reflections that have marked their posts since the early years of marriage. Jessa Duggar and Ben Seewald's wedding remains a clear snapshot of a young couple determined to start their life together on their own terms within a highly visible family. From a carefully supervised courtship to a short engagement, a packed church, private first kiss, and ice cream reception, the day blended tradition with personal touches that still stand out. Their story shows how faith, family, and individual choices can shape even the most watched moments. What are your thoughts on this latest Duggar family update? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another Duggar family update.